It is chilly out today. The wind has finally died. Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilleys Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast today. I am starting right at the Cooper Creek public boat launch. They've just increased the water from less than 1 to probably 2. They've been running less than 1 all day. Fishing's been pretty good for most people, I understand. I'm sitting in the middle of the lake and I'm going to fish this bluff side. Well, I'll probably fish both sides, but should have worn another jacket. This is the area that a lot of the browns have been caught this week. We've mentioned Rob. He caught 2 more 21-inch browns this morning. That brings his total up to 10, I think. And he has been fishing since last Saturday, so that's in a 7-day period. And there's other browns being caught. Talked to a gentleman, said he caught a 28-inch brown between Cooper Creek and not Cooper Creek, Fall Creek and Short Creek on a black, I think he said a black and yellow jig. It was black and something with a black head. He caught that yesterday. And he asked me about getting a replica done. I told him Don Frank in Kansas City. And another gentleman staying at our resort caught another fish just came right up in front of me and took something off the surface. A bug or something. We're flowing pretty good, so I'm gonna it's been good from here down to where the waterfall is. I guess it'd be the last waterfall coming off the bluff. And I'm getting that jig down pretty close to the bottom, or trying to. The water here is about 12-13 foot deep. But the browns, they'll come up. They'll come all the way to the surface if they see something they want to eat. Ooh, there was a bump. We're catching rainbows on these too. I caught one on one cast yesterday, and then caught another one after we shut the camera off. They said they were, well, you saw they were getting a lot of chases last evening, but this morning Rob said that they weren't messing around. They were just eating his stick bait, hitting it hard. I'm working this jig I'm jigging it pretty hard because I feel like, and this is just speculation, that browns, they are more aggressive than rainbows. And I feel like they're more apt to hit something that's moving in the water a little faster, a little bit. Was that a bump? Yes. Oh. You know, every time I get a bite and miss it, I think it's a big brown. That definitely was a hit. I dropped it back down, he hit it. But it could have been a rainbow. You just don't know. So it's kind of exciting when you get a bite. That definitely was a bite because I hooked him just for a second. I couldn't see anything in the water though when I dropped it back down. It went out of sight. I am throwing something different than there. They've been seeing that KVD stick bait. It's sold at Bass Pro. It's a suspending stick bait that goes. It'll go 7 to 9 foot deep, I think. And it's in a shad color. It's like the guys above me are fishing the same stretch. Word's got out. Of course, we had it on one cast. I think Rob's leaving here pretty soon, so he really doesn't care. But then we have been talking about fishing this area for a while. Blake's been fishing it. There's maybe a bite. He's been fishing it pretty religiously for a while. There's that wind that's been blowing all day. Straight out of the north. It's supposed to be 36 degrees tonight. Burr. Got to put this up. They've been seeing a lot of stick baits, but probably not that many white jigs, so that's why I continue to throw a white jig instead of a stick bait. And I think a person could drift a minnow through here, which I've done before. Caught a browns. Or a shad fly, drifted through here. We did get about a ½ inch of rain last night. It really hadn't affected the lakes any, although Table Rock is now a little above 917. It's come up about 8 or 9 inches. But then that's the last few days. Beavers running floodgates, keeping their level down below their flood pool, which is 1130. They're at 1129.6 or 7 or 8, I'm not sure what. But I've been thinking about all these browns that are being caught. What, why they're all of a sudden being caught. Browns have been stocked in this lake. They stock them once a year, and they'll stock about 15,000, 17,000. And I'm sure there's some mortality with some of the browns that are stocked. They're stocked about 11 inches. Some of the browns are probably mistaken for rainbows and kept. But a lot of those browns, you know, they get caught and released, and you don't hear too many people catching browns. So the question really is, where have they been? They've been here the whole time. I think they're up here in the upper lake because of the shad that came in when they run those floodgates. I know that when they run floodgates, say below Taneycomo Dam on the Red River in Denison, Texas, those shad come through, and stripers and catfish and all kind of fish will move up that river. Oh man, I thought that was a fish. You don't have too many snags out here. I thought that was a good fish. Yeah, those big fish will move up that river, feed on those shad. I think for the most part, a lot of the big browns stay low in the lake, kind of spread out. And right now they're just up here because there's food up here. Now earlier in the week, Rob said he saw a lot of fish busting early and late in the day, busting on shad, driving the shad up to the surface and feeding on them, like, you know, you'll see black bass and white bass do that in warm water lakes. And that happened here. It happened earlier in the week. I haven't seen it personally, and I've been out this last part of the week, and so we might be seeing the tail end of this little run too. I think the shad that come over the dam, they eventually will end up in the lower lake where the water's warmer. Takes them a while to get down there. But that's just a theory. Personally, I just don't really care to throw a jerk bait. I just would rather throw a jig. Well, I'm getting down close to the end of this little run, although I think there's browns all the way down to Monkey Island. That might have been a bite. It is so hard to feel a bite sometimes. And there is a little bit of breeze blowing. Sometimes it just feels funny. My brain doesn't even recognize it. I think my hands do, or something does, and I set the hook automatically. I've done this so long. Blake said, oh, fishing reports. Roland Duffield's down with his son Richard, and he said they did really good. Fly fishing today, drifting from, they go all the way to the big hole, which is a quarter mile below the cable at the dam. And they were drifting about 6 foot deep. They were drifting a combo scud, number 12 or number 14 gray scud, and a cerise San Juan worm, and he said it was about 50-50 as far as catching fish on those flies. Of course, it's weighted, a little bit of weight to get it to the bottom. Said they actually did a little bit better this afternoon, even though it was real windy. Those fish were really feeding, and they caught some really nice rainbows. I don't think they had anything over 20, or they would have told me. But Roland's been fishing down here since the 60s, and he's the one that's developed the Peppy scud that we sell in the office. Had a guy, and Blake said that he went up behind Eagle Island above Fall Creek, and he was fishing a jig and float. It's a 50th ounce ginger, sculpin and ginger under a float, and he said he did really good up there. I fished out in front of the resort with a jig and float with my fly rod, and I didn't do very good this afternoon. Caught a couple, missed a couple bites, but it was not very good for me. And then what else? A guy, I can't remember his name, but he did a mention on Facebook and mentioned Lilley's Landing, and said they'd caught some really nice browns the last couple of days on sculpin and ginger with an orange head. And I noticed that one of the pictures that he had, Lazy Valley was in the background, so but he had 2 or 3 browns over 20 inches. One more cast. I'm at the second slough. I'm getting deep enough because I'm getting moss on my jig. Is that moss? Huh. I wonder if that's, oh, that's just a stick. Okay. So I knew it was deeper than that. That cast didn't count since I caught a stick. No fish on one cast. Now I got in the moss again. It was like 14, 15 foot deep here. So I was getting down there. Again, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and share our Facebook video. And I will not do another short video on this one because I didn't catch any fish. So thanks. See you tomorrow.